It's only going to be the only Renault-powered car next year as well.
As Esteban Ocon comes into the garage, Lewis Hamilton, the defending champion, six-time world champion, makes his way out onto the track in the brand new livery. For 2020, Mercedes have chosen to race in an all-black base livery. That, they say, is a public pledge to improve the diversity of their team. A clear statement that they stand within the team and within the sport as well. First things first, I think the black livery looks utterly stunning. I love the stars on the back, the silver arrow stars as well. But it's a big statement for the team to make, to stand shoulder to shoulder with their driver, who has been very passionate in recent weeks about these matters and about this cause. And it's great to see a team looking from within and looking outside as well to see what they can do to help.
I think the whole of sport and the whole of Formula One have.
Yeah.
It is a massive statement, and it's very different as well to see that car, which is predominantly silver and has been for all the years, and see where they are. And Lewis also got a different...
Lewis Hamilton, his Mercedes team and Formula One as a business were all taking action to redress the lack of driving diversity. The Hamilton Commission and 92 wins and a 7th world title for Lewis would make history, but being part of changing the future might just be his most fulfilling achievement of all.
This has been very outspoken. He's accused this sport of burying its head in the sand for so long.
Getting behind the We Racers One campaign, starting of course with Mercedes. Now, as they all ventured out really onto the track, such actions down there in the final corner, but no such problems for Lewis Hamilton. He just seemed to get stronger and stronger all the way through FP.
It's very different.
Absolutely.
Well, they had how many different engines in the back of that Toro Rosso over the years? Ferrari, Renault.
Absolutely.
Renault, Ferrari, Renault, Honda. Is that right?
It's the case, and maybe the same for Sunday morning. It could be, we're hearing that, I mean, as will happen and does happen when the weather is terrible, that it could be the P2 times that count towards the grid position.
Both Ferraris, I would say, both racing points down in 12th and 17th. So they've got some work to do.
Toto Wolff. The stewards are looking at the Lance Stroll, Daniel Ricciardo incident at turn 3, just to see if they need to investigate that properly. We'll keep you up to date with any news from the stewards' room there. Go back the last 4 races here at the Red Bull Ring. Lewis Hamilton hasn't scored a podium finish in any of them. It's one of 2 tracks he hasn't won at in the last 3 years. Well, you can scratch the Red Bull Ring off that particular record because he's dominated here this weekend. A sensational pole lap yesterday and what looked like a very comfortable victory today. The 6-time world champion eager to make up for the disappointment of last week, and he's done that, Paul, in some style today.
He has, you know.
Championship Turkish Grand Prix. Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world.
I have a kart up a little track in the Midlands called Wilton Mill, and I used to go, Crofty, and
yeah, P6 for Lewis Hamilton, nearly 0.3 of a second off the pace. So leaving will come out for a few more laps, even though he's still in the garage at the moment. But he's not really done any. So Hamilton to come out then to the racetrack, heavy on fuel, but he's going to get what? 4 laps in, 5 laps in for this. Is that enough? Is that enough time, even for a 7-time world champion, to go out there and get the data that he would want, or is he now relying on his team?
Think about what's left of the weekend. If they can get that car rebuilt, he's still got a race ahead of him. But, you know...
Man has just messaged me to say Damon started every race on the front row in '96. He's trolling you. Sean the Statman's a very nice man indeed, unlike you.
So, which driver's going to get out at the end of the session and say, my car's a dog?
Well, I think there'll be a few that say the tyres have gone off a little bit. I'm not sure they'll say that.
You see it by now.
Yeah.
I think.
It's all a bit muddled by having the testing tyres in during the course of this season. They've also got issues to contend with as well.
Yeah, but it might not be in why the car stopped an electrical issue. It might be just because the red light was there. You know, he was right at the edge of making it out.
Mercedes 2-2 Ferrari, and Verstappen parks up alongside him, and he'll be starting directly behind him for the twilight race tomorrow. Lewis Hamilton rather gingerly gets out of his car, wipes the dust off his racing boots, and for the 98th time in his Formula One career, walks over to his crew and says, "Hey, I'm on pole, you know." 98 pole positions for Lewis Hamilton.
You wouldn't want to slip off the front of a highly polished Formula One car with all those antennas sticking up, would you? Really just hooking everything up, carrying.
131. Fourth place for Daniel Ricciardo in the Drivers' Championship now, ahead of Sergio Perez. Charles Leclerc 6th. Lando Norris ahead of Carlos Sainz 7th and 8th. Albon and Gasly completing the top 10. McLaren go into 3rd place in that Constructors' Championship, ahead of Racing Point.
Oh, great job.
Over the weekend, which could bring other teams into play to challenge the might of Mercedes, and that man, the 6-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, who leads the way by 37 points after another fine victory last time around.
Much on a roll at the moment, 3rd fastest here today, looking for a 6th consecutive podium this weekend, Max Verstappen. If it wasn't for that mechanical problem that caused him to retire in Austria, Max Verstappen could easily be a lot closer to Lewis Hamilton than the gap suggests at the moment. Hamilton leading the Drivers' Championship on 162 points. Leading the Drivers' Championship. Verstappen in 2nd place at the moment.
Max was low 49s. Oh, Hamilton knows he got in the way there. Put his hand up.
14th, Sebastian Vettel down in 15th at the moment. Leclerc only 11th, crossing the beans on that one. That was not a good qualifying performance for Valtteri Bottas, and I know this is not his greatest track. He's never qualified higher than 3rd here before, but he was...
Lewis Hamilton has got 6th at Spa. They've lost of his nearest driver in the form of Max Verstappen.
Under warming skies here at Spa, and Lewis Hamilton knows what it's like to lead away from pole, but they'll be queuing up behind him, Martin Brundle. I can't wait for this start.
Yes,
Paul Frere, come the 2 Mercedes. Hamilton stretching clear of his teammate Valtteri Bottas.
and Charles Leclerc.
Points going to Racing Point, but this win never looked in doubt for that man there.
It didn't. Like you said, he just got to the front, kept his head down, and on he went. But, you know, what a nail-biter all the way to the end. I mean, Esteban Ocon getting that job done for Renault. That's a very special day for them. 4th and 5th. That was almost the tattoo, like you say, that Cyril was after. But to do the fact...
Back in Italy last year, started 5th, finished 4th. Well, could be on for something very similar this time around. Lewis Hamilton will fancy that there's another win in the bag, I'm sure. It's only Mercedes' 3rd 1-2 finish at Spa. Fangio and Moss in 55. Lewis Hamilton and